Episode 3 of Resident Evil is called The Light, and it opens with a pretty big revelation that Evelyn is actually the daughter of the founder of Umbrella. So, yeah, she's very high up. She is asked about the original Raccoon City, which apparently had something go wrong, but we don't learn yet as an audience. She says we aren't them, but we are going to change the world. Then we jump back to Jade, who's in current time, and she's running from Baxter again. He asks his men if they're using rubber bullets because he really wants Jade alive. She manages to escape his grasp yet again and finds a place to hide with a mother and a daughter. Albert arrives home and asks Jade how Billy is. She said she's okay, but Billy won't even let her in the bathroom to see how she's doing, so she really doesn't know. And she is still bleeding, but from behind the door, she says, I'm okay. Albert then goes to check on the rat who's been injected with the same sickness that Billy has. And the last time we saw this rat, it was hulking out, trying to break out of the glass. And Albert makes a face once he sees the rat, and we'll find out why. Then we see Billy. She's laying in bed, her heart's pounding, and she's not looking good. Albert sets a timer for 52 minutes, and we transition right back to current time. Jade is driving with the people that she hid with, now including a man, but we go right back to Billy. She's losing it. She's having a very, very hard time. But then all of a sudden, in a turn of events, she walks downstairs and says she's going to school, and she looks a lot better. Albert says, give it a few days. Jade then jumps in and says, if we miss too much school, people could notice. Albert then goes to check on Billy's wound, and magically it looks a lot better. They go to school, but we immediately see signs that Billy is really not okay. Jade asked her what's going on, but Billy throws it right back in her face by questioning the relationship that she made with Simon, calling him her boyfriend, and walking off annoyed. Jade then tells Simon that she needs the rest of the files in the Tijuana incident. He says he'll get it done. Back to current time, Jade takes the family she's with to a team who knows how to transport through zombies safely. They say they only lost 3 people this month. Then Evelyn is running a meeting for Umbrella, and they're talking about Joy. Albert says Joy can be a miracle pill, but it contains a tracing of the T virus. He says it can be spread usually through a bite. Then Evelyn jumps in and says, well, just don't bite. He says it's not that easy, and he shows everyone the rat. This is what happens when you overdose on joy. But Evelyn only talks about the positives of joy, pretty much just the money side of it. But it weirdly seems like it's made to control minds, which is probably why she calls it a $1 trillion drug, not a $1 billion drug. But Albert doesn't care about the money right now, and he says none of it gets rid of the danger that it could cause. Evelyn then asks, how many tablets would you need to take of joy to overdose? And Albert says about 20,000. So Evelyn thinks she won here. Then Baxter found where Jade and the family are hiding, and he claims they are under arrest. But when he's approaching their vehicle, he hears a really weird noise, and then chaos breaks out everywhere. A creature starts throwing people left and right, and then there's these really super looking zombies that are fast, nimble, and attacking everyone. No matter which side you're on, they're trying to kill you. We flash back again, and Evelyn is talking to Albert. He says, you're risking billions of lives. For what? Money? She pushes back and says, what happened in Raccoon City is to be taken as a precaution. She tells him he needs to streamline production ASAP. She then picks up the rat and cuts off its head. Right back to school, Jade worries for Billy as she is in a separate class, and Billy is burning up and looking very pale. She runs into the bathroom and gets sick. Back to current time, Jade leads her group through a service tunnel away from the creatures and from Baxter, but she finds out one of the children that is traveling with them has been bitten 3 days ago. Jade tells the mother that the minute someone is infected, they don't love you anymore. Then we see the main creature causing all this havoc. It just walks its way into the corridor. It's a zombie spider. Huge. They all hide and run away from the spider, but the infected boy's father runs out to try to give them some time to get away. He takes a swing at the spider and he yells for his family to run, but he's killed right after this. He's actually split in half right in front of his family. Jade then shoots at the spider and takes off running. She had a plan, it turns out. She trapped the spider, tricked the spider, if you want to call it that, and let it down the hallway to where a steel door would fall right on the spider's head, killing it. So Jade used her smarts once again to help her out of trouble. Back to young Jade. Simon finishes cracking the firewall and he says, hey, what's going on? But Billy runs in thinking they're actually arguing, and she ends up punching Jade in the face pretty hard. And then she runs off. But before Jade can catch up with her, she runs into Evelyn. And it turns out Evelyn is Simon's mother. Then Jade finally arrives home to check on Billy, and Billy admits it. She says, "Hey, I think something's wrong with me." She's been hearing things, seeing things. She says that light feels like drilling in her brain and sounds hurt her bones. She says all of this, but physical pain does nothing. And then she reveals her hand, and we see she cut it to test out this theory. And Jade tells her, "Listen, that dog was sick." She tells her that she's been reading up on it with the help of Simon, and she knows a little bit about what's going on, but she kind of just breaks the news to Billy that, "Hey, you're sick. We're going to try to figure this out, but you're sick." Then back in current time, Jade tells the mother to leave the infected child. She said, "He's not yours anymore," mirroring the situation that's going on with her and younger Billy at the exact moment with all the transitions this episode is doing. But the mother refuses, and Jade pushes on solo because she doesn't want to be around the infected kid for when he turns into a full-fledged zombie. We think that Jade is safe for the episode, but then we hear Baxter's voice. He says, "Took you long enough." Then when we think she is truly done and that Baxter finally got her, someone snipes him right in the shoulder, so he's not dead. But then all of these Frenchmen surround Umbrella, and they kill a couple of them. They push Baxter on the floor even further, and then they knock out Jade because they thought that she was with them, and that is how episode 3 ends.